Hi everyone and welcome to VLAMP, video lighting, audio, music, and photography how-to show. I'm of course your host Matt Haslam, and as you're going to notice, we are not in the normal studio for VLAMP or MHP Studios. We are actually in my boyfriend's house right now, and I'm packing things for the day for our next musical coming up tonight. And before I did that, as I'm packing, I'm realizing that I've never given you guys tips on how to pack for a musical. So we're running audio for a local high school musical called Bye Bye Birdie. And as I'm packing, I'm realizing all the stuff that we need that I've never really had anyone tell me that, oh, these are things that you should have if you're filming a musical or if you're doing audio or lighting or something like that. So just time for really quick tips here of what I'm packing. So down in my case here, you're gonna notice a lot of different things. You're gonna notice I have a pair of headphones, really good quality Sennheiser HD 280 Pro headphones. Then I have an adapter for it to go to a 1/4 inch for any kind of pro level mixer that the school might have. This is basically regardless of whether you're using all of your own equipment or the school's equipment to do the audio and the lighting for their school. So basically this is my go-to bag, and in case just for general purposes, whether I'm using their equipment or mine, I still need headphones no matter what. So I can hear maybe what the audience can't hear. So if there's an actor coming out on stage, I want to make sure his or her microphone is on and ready to go before I hit unmute and they come out on stage, and they want to be obviously heard by the audience. So I want to make sure that microphone is on and ready. That way I can communicate with the stage directors down on the stage, on the wings of the stage, to say, hey, that microphone's not working. Maybe you want to change the batteries before they go on stage or something. Next up, I have an extra battery pack. This is 10,000 milliamps for USB power. And then I have my cell phone charger down here so that I can always have power to my cell phone, because basically in light of systems that might not have intercoms, I'm using my cell phone as an intercom with the stage directors or the director itself. So then I also have with me to every event plenty of pens, black markers, tiny fine point Sharpie markers, silver markers, which are really, really helpful for marking on black gaff tape. Then you're going to notice I also have two different types of tape here. I also have black regular gaff normally with me, but on this particular job I don't need that. But I have 1-inch white gaff tape. It's for marking my mixer of which channel is which character. Also, I'm marking all the microphones of their character names, so that basically if for a musical you're going to have a multi-day event, so on day 2, 3, 4, and 5, I want to have those microphones go back to the same exact people, that that way they know as a stage manager this microphone needs to go to this person in order for that to line up with my mixer settings for the show. Then I also have some body tape, which is actually just simple, get it here, Next Care tape that's for like medical purposes, but it's really great for putting on your cheek for keeping a microphone, headset microphone right next to your mouth. And this stuff costs like, I think $1.70 something for a pack of 2, and typically this will last you 4 to 5 days. And so I have 2 packs of that for the overall musical here, because we're going to be rehearsing 5 times, and then the live shows, another 5 shows. So it's a lot of tape that we have to go through. And you're going to notice you do go through a ton of tape. So make sure to keep a pair of scissors on you or a multi-tool so you can cut whatever kind of stuff you need in very clear kind of cuts, instead of just ripping it. For the medical tape, for the gaff tape, it rips quite nicely. But then I also have tons and tons of AA batteries, and the venue already has tons and tons of 9-volt batteries. You're gonna notice I have a crap ton, like 200 AA batteries. And that's only like less than half of what we need, because every single day those batteries need to be switched out. So I have all of that to make sure that we have tons and tons of batteries for this show. That way nothing ever runs out. And I'm also replacing them before every single live show. That way, no matter what, batteries in a wireless headset microphone and a body pack typically last about 4 hours or so, but a musical is about 2.5 hours. So you're always stuck with having to make sure your microphones have extra batteries. And yes, you're wasting some battery life on a little bit on every single battery, but otherwise you have to switch them out halfway through the second show. I also keep a notepad near me at all times for making slight notes to the show. I also keep my contract in here with my customers to make sure that if security's at the event, I have the contract saying that I'm allowed to be on location. Then I have the wonderful script that the directors gives me, and that I use with the highlighters and pens and stuff like that to make all the notes that I need to. A certain microphone needs to be turned on at a certain time. Now, if you're asking, what's the system of doing that, Matt? Well, I typically use red and green. For green, saying a microphone needs to be turned on, so I'll write in my notepad number 14 or a certain character's name, mark it in green. That means unmute the microphone, make it live at that certain moment. Red means turn that microphone off. Orange and yellow are typically like, hey, these are just general directions of make this channel a little bit lower because that person's about to scream. That's typically an orange, and yellow is just basically some general notes for me to remember that, hey, there's a big musical number coming up. You might want to lower all of these different channels. That way, all of the microphones aren't blasting the audience out there. And then blue is typically your sound effects coming on, like doorbell or cell phone ring that the director would normally have you play through the sound system of certain sound effects, or music tracks that need to be played at certain times. That's all in blue. So that's the system doing that. Also, another very important note that I was told very early on in doing sound for musicals, not so much on the more professional side where you're dealing with professional actors and stuff like that, because everything at that level is all union stuff where, hey, you're the sound guy and you're a second assistant or something like that, which means your union job is to put a microphone on the talent. For high schools, nowadays it's a very fine line of what you can do. So when you hand someone a microphone, you say to them, here's your microphone, here's a little piece of tape, but you are not really allowed to put that microphone on for them. And along with, you're not allowed to help them get it on in any way. I know that sounds horrible, but at the same time, you don't want a kid to come back and say anything negative on you that, oh, this sound guy touched me inappropriately. No, like I didn't even go near you. This is just me handing you a microphone. And I know it sounds bad, but at the same time, it's better to be extra precautious there and just hand them a microphone, hand them the tape that they need, and say, here you go. And I'm allowed to direct them on how to do it. I'm allowed to tell another child, you can help them with it, but I'm not actually allowed to help them with it. That's just basically how I set up my company policies of how my sound guys work for me. And also I do things when I'm the sound guy directly, because I don't want allegations against me in any way there. So it's a really weird note to make, but one that's very, very important. And then finally, because, I'm human and sometimes sound guys have to be up in the booth for hours on end, take crackers with you or something to eat that's kind of not really loud to eat. That way you can, eat it during the show if you have to. That way, just in case I'm hungry at halftime or intermission, I'm able to go, you know what? Instead of going down to the snack booth and having to wait in line because I'm a sound guy, I need to be back. I have snacks on me, and I always keep my cell phone on me just in case the director needs to give me notes. Also, I make a playlist of songs pertaining to the musical or kind of popular songs nowadays that relate somewhat to the theme of the show, and I will keep that all plugged in to the soundboard at all times so I can play that to my live audience. But anyway, that's my case for what I'm taking to every single show for any kind of musical sounds and stuff like that. And if you guys are interested at all and would like my services for your lighting and sound this year for your musical, please go to matthaslamproductions.com/musicals and give me a call today at 570-294-4211 and see us on the road this year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this tutorial helps you, and I hope you have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.